Hey guys, so apparently Media Watch is going to be doing something on Friendly Jordies, so...
A producer for YouTube commentator Friendly Jordies has been arrested, accused of stalking and intimidating Deputy Premier John Barilaro. Kristo Lanker was arrested by the Fixated Persons Unit at his home on June 4.
Hello, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Watch. And you may never have heard of Friendly Jordies or its attacks on New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro. But you don't need to have done to be concerned about that dramatic arrest and its message for free speech in this country. Friendly Jordies...
Oh, I think that this might be positive. I got a vibe, okay?
That dramatic arrest and its message for free speech in this country. Friendly Jordies is a hugely popular YouTube channel fronted by a prankster and comedian, Jordan Shanks. To some, he's a satirist. To others, a savage political commentator. To others, just a brat. Shanks claims he is a journalist, but whatever he is, Friendly Jordies has around 500,000 subscribers and 130 million views for its campaigning content.
We were able to expose more corruption than the ABC, Nine, Fairfax and the Murdoch press combined. Why? Because we actually want to expose corruption.
Friendly Jordies fans are typically young, alienated by traditional media, and for politicians, hard to reach, which is why Labor's former leader Bill Shorten and frontbenchers Tanya Plibersek and Christina Keneally have all sat down for a Friendly Jordies chat. And friendliest of all is former Labor PM Kevin Rudd, who has appeared in multiple videos and told Rolling Stone approvingly last year,
in a country like Australia, where the media is so concentrated in the hands of Uncle Rupert Murdoch, there's always a need for new media voices, especially voices that are young and progressive.
So, what has Friendly Jordies done to get it into so much trouble? Well, Shanks has made plenty of enemies, including journalists and Conservative politicians he trolls on a regular basis. National Senator Amanda Stoker spoke for many when she told Sky News,
he engages in the most vile and base and not based in substance or performance at all slurs on people who are particularly female and particularly conservative.
Shanks' tactics certainly can be nasty when attacking politicians he doesn't like. And New South Wales National Party leader John Barilaro is one of his favourite targets. The feud between the pair began last June over land clearing in koala habitats. But in September, Shanks ramped it up by hiring Barilaro's house on Airbnb, whence he broadcast this savage criticism.
He's a con man to the core, powered by spaghetti. Not only did he use the public's money to prop up a friend's failing business, he perjured himself 9 times over.
That Bruz video now has more than 700,000 views.
Well, it
A month
deserves
later,
it.
Shanks escalated his attacks after interviewing locals in the rural town of Narandera, accusing Barilaro of pocketing millions of dollars in council funds.
It's the same thing as what happens with Putin, where he's just like, I am just president. Yes, I get a little bit more than the American president. Yeah, on the books, off the books, he's richer than fucking Bill Gates.
Barilaro denies any wrongdoing and is now suing Shanks and YouTube over those videos in the federal court, claiming they portray him as a corrupt conman who has committed perjury. He's seeking to have the 2 videos deleted, general and aggravated damages, and a court order to prevent Shanks making similar videos.
Don't let them get
in the
deleted,
future.
guys.
So, has Shanks backed down? No way. He's turned the lawsuit into viral content, making at least 4 videos about the case. It was against that background that 21-year-old producer Kristo Lanker was arrested by the New South Wales Police stalking squad after a complaint from Barilaro. As Shanks told it last Monday in a video that now has around 1 million views.
On the 4th of June, plainclothes armed officers stormed into my employee's home, violently assaulted his family, nearly killed his dog, pinned him to the ground, handcuffed him, and dragged him into an unmarked police car.
Lanker is facing 2 charges of stalking or intimidating to cause fear of physical or mental harm. The first relates to a university event where Lanker accompanied Shanks in this stunt.
John, you cynical son!
It's so
The
good.
second relates to this exchange between Lanker and Barilaro after the funeral of rugby league great Bob Fulton.
Hey, John.
He's
John.
showing the audio.
John. Hey, John. I've got something for you. John, I've got a lawsuit. You're suing my boss. John.
Not only were those judged to be stalking and intimidation, but Lanker's arrest was carried out by the Fixated Persons Investigations Unit, set up in the wake of the deadly Lint Cafe siege to prevent acts of violence or terrorism. as former New South Wales DPP Nicholas Cowdery told The Guardian.
On its face, this does not seem to be a case for which the Fixated Persons Unit was established.
New South Wales Police told The Conversation the unit's focus is supposed to be on people with an obsessive preoccupation who pursue others to an excessive or irrational degree. And criminologist Kieran Hardy is concerned that using it to target friendly Jordies could
set a precedent about what is fixated behaviour and an appropriate use of the FPIU. If that bar is set too low, there will be a serious risk to free speech and democracy.
Exactly.
But Barilaro, who says he feels harassed by friendly Jordies followers, is determined to see this case through, telling reporters,
people don't know half the truths and what I've endured over a long period of time, and it's now in the hands of the courts and it's in the hands of the lawyers, so I'm going to have no more to say on it, but justice will prevail.
Meanwhile, Lanka's strict bail conditions prevent him from commenting on the personal appearance or behaviour of Barilaro. But they do not apply to friendly Jordies, which has seen an increase in followers, mainstream media stories and revenue since the arrest and defamation case. And as Jordan Shanks sets about crowdfunding to pay his lawyer's bills, Crikey's Cam Wilson reports he is raking it in.
It's safe to assume that Shanks has earned a minimum of $200,000 from his Patreon and YouTube accounts since Bruz came out, and likely significantly more than that.
If Barilaro's aim was to reduce friendly Jordies' reach and influence, it's certainly not working. So, what could or should he have done instead? New South Wales Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party member Helen Dalton, who is a friendly Jordies fan, offered up one suggestion.
Remember when Chase's Craig Rucastle approached then Prime Minister John Howard with a giant fake axe? The PM hugged him and didn't report him to any anti-terrorist police squads. Ah, the good old days.
Now, just to add to this, I reckon that if Bruz had have reacted in that way, we would not have this court case. This would not have escalated to that point because, the whole thing is he's gotten triggered, so they're getting a reaction from him, and it's making him look more sus.
The Chaser team were occasionally detained by police, but that stunt, and plenty of others like it, were generally accepted with a wink and a smile. So, is Shanks more aggressive and more personal than those Chaser stunts? Perhaps. But making political pranks into a crime is not just crazy, it is a threat to free speech. Defamation, however, is different. And if Jordan Shanks wants to be regarded as a journalist, he needs to be bound by the rules, which means if he's going to allege that anyone is corrupt, he needs to be able to prove it, or pay the price.
I suppose that's kind of fair. That, if he can't prove it, then you shouldn't say it, because sometimes, even if you know something, but you have no evidence, it can bite you in the ass and cause more issues in the long run. However, I also do think that, the fact that Bruz is fighting so hard indicates that potentially and allegedly something is certainly going on. But I kind of, I do feel that was presented quite well. The guy was obviously, he didn't seem to be really a fan of Jordan, and he didn't really seem to be too invested in him in the sense of his YouTube journalism. But he did seem to be acknowledging the issues with this case that we've all been bringing up. And I think that that's a good thing. So I will leave it at that.